Hello and welcome to my interview with Michael Myslinski, an Iowa Center, former Bishop Kenny graduate, and my latest episode on my podcast, Schlick Sports Made in the River City. Thank you guys for tuning in. And Michael, he comes from an athletic family. His dad, one of the original members of the Jacksonville Jaguars, now their strength and conditioning coach. His grandfather played football at Maryland, went on to play for the Jets. His brother, middle linebacker at Army. His sister, JU runner, and now he's continuing on their tradition at the University of Iowa, my favorite school. So without further ado, here's my interview with Michael Myslinski. So thank you again for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate you coming on the show. And first up, I didn't realize this until I did some more research into you, but your dad played 9 seasons in the NFL and was an original member of the Jaguars, so I can imagine that's how you got into football?
Yeah, got into football because of him. So, yeah, played in my life.
What's it like? I mean, I'm sure everyone kind of wonders this, but you've lived it. What's it like to have a dad play in the NFL?
I mean, it's really cool. I mean, he played before I was born, but growing up, he coached his whole life. He coached for the Jaguars for the past 9 years. So, like being around that, being around players every day, it's really cool. And it's really shaped me into the man and player I probably am today.
Who are some of your favorite players growing up?
Favorite players. When I was young, around 10, my favorite player was Josh Cribbs. Played for the Browns. Really good kick returner. As I got older, favorite player is probably Jason Kelsey. Really good center. Kind of a little short, so like me, like 6'2", and he's really athletic, and so I always model my game off him. He's a great player.
Still love him as much now after he threw a little shade at Jacksonville?
I don't know. I try to ignore that one. So.
Yeah. So when did you start to take football seriously?
I took football seriously ever since I really started playing, but I thought I really had a chance maybe to want to play probably 8th grade. I thought hey, like maybe I could focus on this and do good. So it's around 8th grade I really started taking it seriously.
For kids looking to try to make it to the D1 level, especially here in Jacksonville, what did you do growing up in terms of training here, and what advice would you give them just wondering how to work towards this?
Well, I say something is, it's going to take sacrifice and take hard work. You're going to have to work harder than other people, than your other friends work. It's not going to just take showing up every day to practice. You're going to have to stay after and do stuff to get better. It's just all about being consistent with your hard work and, not taking a day off.
And so you attended Bishop Kenny for high school. What were some of your favorite things about playing there?
Man, I love Bishop Kenny. So my brother and sister both went there. And my brother, when he was playing there, I think in 2012 was his final year, I was his water boy. So that was really cool to me. It's like I went from being the water boy at Bishop Kenny to playing there and then probably like my favorite thing about being that is like I was captain my senior year, which is awesome to me. It's the biggest accomplishment I have from high school was being the captain of my football team. So I mean, running on the field, the river over top, Jag Stadium in the background. Every time national anthem would come on before a game, and it hit me hard. I mean, like remember my last game, like I got teary eye, like just like that's like my favorite moment from high school. I have a picture of me kneeling the goalpost of my final game. I was sobbing as we lost, but like the memories I have there, like I loved college and like that Penn State game was something I'll never forget. But the memories I had in high school are, I'll never forget that. It was the best time of my life.
Hopefully, my cat just hopped on my bed where I have my computer set up here, so hopefully she doesn't come over here and make too much of a ruckus. I apologize for that. But Bishop Kenny, one of the best environments in the Jacksonville area, and nothing can really beat that view. It's got to be one of the top in the country. That behind the end zone, that had to be really cool to play there. I got to talk for my first episode. I had James Rezar on.
Awesome.
Yes, he's the quarter. Was he your starter last year too?
He started kind of later in the season. We had some injuries, and he stepped in, and he did a great job.
Bishop
He'd be a great player.
They're off to a great start this year. You guys really, as a program, stepped it up during your time there. What do you think the biggest reason for that is?
Well, I think James is a very big reason, and I think our whole team is our senior, or not my senior team, but their senior team is very, together, and they really care about each other. And, they practice hard, I bet. And, when you have athletes like Andrew Tabor, who forget who's also came to the scene this year. But like Andrew Tabor's stud, Brad Miller's playing running back. When you have people like them on your team, great leaders, great players, you're bound to do good.
Yeah, and in high school, when did you start to gain that D1 interest?
So my first D1 offer was my sophomore year. I got Florida International. I'm super excited. So I had some low FBS for a while, and then end of my junior year, or and mid near the end of my junior year, I started getting some Power Five offers from Louisville and Oregon. So that's kind of where my recruitment took off during COVID time.
Yeah, in Iowa, you'd said had interest in you from pretty early on, but you originally committed to Texas. But after that, you ended up you decommitted when they had let some of their staff go. And then you had big schools such as Oregon, Michigan State, Virginia Tech offer you. But what made you choose Iowa over them?
Well, I think Iowa has such a great tradition of offensive line play. I get to learn from the best center in the country this year, Tyler Linderbaum.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a lot like him as well, how he plays, and he's a great person to learn behind. But overall, like the coaches, Kirk Ferentz, I love Coach Ferentz, and George Barnett, my O-line coach. I mean, he's awesome. He's really took me in. And when I committed here, Paul Sack, my recruiter, he left. So Barnett came in, and I remember him calling me a couple months before I was about to come up to Iowa. And after I was talking, I'm like, man, like I chose the right school, and being here now, this is the great place for me to be. They develop the line. It's a great tradition they have here, waving to the kids in the hospital. It just everything worked out really good.
Yeah, Iowa's great school. It's known as tight end university for some, but I mean, it doesn't get enough credit, I feel like, for the O linemen that they produce. Linderbaum this year, you got guys like Tristan Wirfs, Brian Beluga, another center, Austin Blythe, Riley Reef, Brandon Sheriff. The list goes on, but definitely in a great situation there. But you mentioned there learning from Linderbaum. What are a few things you picked up from him?
Well, he's just so efficient. When he snaps the ball and gets going, that's the thing that separates him from other centers. And as also, he's very smart. He knows what's going on every play, so it gives him the ability to really go out and play at the best of his ability. He's got really strong hands. His lower body moves really smooth, and he's super fast. I mean, he with his work ethic every day. I thought I worked pretty hard coming into college, and then you see him work hard every day, and you're like, it's a new standard. So, but to see that standard and be like, I have to get there. It's cool. It makes you work harder, and he's always there. Like, hey, Mike, let's go do snaps. So, I mean, he's a great leader, great friend. He's gonna be a great player. So.
How have you been kind of adjusting to that? You mentioned that new standard at the D1 level. It's definitely a big step up from high school.
Yeah, it's a huge step up. I remember my first couple of days of training camp. I got beat a good amount, for a while. But after a while, the game slowly slows down a little bit. It still needs to slow down for me a lot more. But the more you play, the more comfortable you feel. So I just got to keep practicing and working hard, and see what the rest goes.
And you mentioned earlier the wave to the Children's Hospital. You get to
Yeah.
be a part of that every week. What's that like for you?
I remember the first time Indiana, like with fans in the stands. We did it one other time for a practice game. It was just like I remember just looking around, the stadium, seeing all the fans there, and like this is so cool. And you see the kids waving back to you. I mean, you take a second from football and you realize there's much more important battles going on, and it's really cool. It's the best tradition in college football.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then it's you guys have been off to a terrific start this year. 6-1 now, and I mean it's best season since 2015. It's been really fun to watch. That win over Penn State, that's your first taste of like primetime action at the college football level. One of the classic games in Iowa history. What was it like to be, on the team and part of that?
It was really incredible. Growing up, I've always seen primetime games. I've been around it. My dad and my brother played, and my brother played at Air Force, and mentioned that earlier. So got to see him play there for a little bit. But yeah, really being a part of it. I mean, it was like so surreal to me. Like sometimes I think about during the game on the sideline was like, wow, I was watching these people last year, and now I'm playing here. It was still surreal to me, but it was really cool. So many more games of those in the future. Hopefully, we can win them out as well.
Oh yeah, and it's been I've had some great luck attending Iowa football games. I was at the Ohio State one 2017.
Oh,
Kirk's win to pass Hayden Fry, and then this one has been my last three. So I've been on a good streak there. But I mean, as you mentioned, there's going to be a lot more primetime battles for you to come, and you're a young team still and looking really solid. But after the loss to Purdue last week, how have you guys been responding to that?
I think we just came out, this week. This is our bye week. So everyone's really recovering from a tough 7 game span or 7 game span. So everyone kind of recovered. We practiced really hard today and Wednesday. So taking it day by day. One loss isn't going to determine the future rest or our goals for the season. So you lost a game, move on, do better next game.
And then, personally for you, what are a few goals you have at the University of Iowa?
A few of my goals is obviously, hopefully to start one day, and but also along the future is be a captain. I just want to be the best teammate I can be, and I just want to. That's what I really care about is being the best teammate, and just get better day by day, and I know take care of itself.
So we mentioned earlier Iowa's tradition of developing O linemen. Who are some of your favorites to come out of Iowa?
So before I committed, my favorite player was probably Brandon Scherf.
Hmm.
Loved him. I would always watch his highlight tape before my game to get pumped up. So Brandon Scherf, Austin Blythe was probably my other favorite. He is, a really good player. I forget who he plays for now, but he played for the Rams. So I watched him with the Rams. A really good player. So those are probably two of my favorite that before I came here.
Just wondering, have you met Julian Vandervelde yet?
Um, I don't think so. No.
Yeah, because he played for the Eagles for a little bit, and he's pretty involved in the program now. I've had the chance to talk to him. I was wondering if you had known him at all. But backtracking, you had mentioned your brother played at Air Force, so football's really in the blood for you guys. You know, you're coming from a football family. Like, can you just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, whole family grew up playing football. Never had a choice. It was fun. My brother played middle linebacker for Air Force. Great player. My grandpa also played. He played in Maryland and played for the Jets for a little bit. So, I mean, growing up in a football family, it's just, everyone in my family worked hard, and including my sister. She ran track at JU, heptathlete. I mean, it's like everyone in our family went on to play Division 1 sport or whatever sport they did. So our family just worked really hard. My dad's strength coach. We were always in the weight room working out with him. So I mean, from a young age, I think we were kind of primed for success.
It's in the genes.
Genes.
So I got a few would you rather questions for you to close out the interview here. Would you be up for them?
Yeah, let's see.
All right. So would you rather win a national championship and play or win a Super Bowl and not play?
I'd rather win a national championship and play.
All right. Would you rather eat Italian or Mexican food?
Italian food. Love Italian.
All right. And then for this last one, would you rather play video games or watch TV?
I'd probably rather play video games.
What are your go-tos there?
Go to. I'm gonna say Warzone.
Warzone? That seems to be pretty
Warzone.
popular. I've thought about downloading it.
It's pretty good. It gets at times, but it's a good game.
All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this, Michael. It was really fun getting to talk with you.
You as well. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys for watching this interview, and if you enjoyed, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts, and be sure to head over, check out my new podcast, Slick Sports Made in the River City. You can follow on whatever podcast platform you're listening to it on. It's on Apple, Spotify, Google. I apologize. I got a cold today, so not my best outro. But if you did enjoy, please be sure to do those things, and I'll see you next time.